Hi everyone, in this video we are going to be using the world's most famous 6-second drum beat, the Amen Brother Break, and we are going to be using it as a sample to create our own breakbeat drum groove. Okay, so first things I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to import my Amen Brother track, and here we have, it's a stereo file, so I imported my left and right channels. And straight up, I can pretty much identify straight away whereabouts this drum groove is just by looking at the graphic waveform. If you hit play from about here, beautiful, that's where he is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in with my T function. Okay, so you can hear it starts around about here, but notice how there's a little bit of horn bleed. So I don't want to grab that part, I want to grab some clean drums, alright? So what I'm going to do, so here's the downbeat of the second bar of the break. If I zoom in, right the way in, and I'm going to use my tab to transient function here, make sure this button is engaged. If I hit tab, there it is, beat a break. I'm going to delete all that section there. I'm going to find the end of this break. Okay, once again, zooming in, tab to transient, break, delete, zoom out, grab a tool, bring it right the way to the start of the track. Okay, cool. Now here we have 3 bars of the Amen break. Alright, so let's just loop that, just make sure it was cut cleanly. Let's have a listen. Cool. Okay, so in total we've got 6 bars there. That means it finishes at the start of bar 7. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and beat sync this really quickly with the session BPM. At the moment the session BPM is a 120. If I go to event, identify beat, we know it starts at bar 1 beat 1 and it finishes when bar 7 starts. So if I change that to 7, boom, we can now see our grid lines are going to be matched up with the bars of the break. Okay, now next thing I'm going to want to do, I want to split this track into individual drum hits. Right? That means we can see these graphics. I'll drop that back a little bit. I want to split the track for my kick, hat, snare, hat, kick, and so on. So I've got lots of individual hits. Okay, I don't need that part for the time being. So once again, my really handy tab to transient button makes editing very, very simple and quick. If I hit tab B, tab B, tab B. Beautiful. There we have now all the individual slices from the Amen break. All right. Now, what I'm going to want to do, I'm just going to grab and I'm going to want to shuffle these slices around to create my own groove. Okay, to do this, I want to be in shuffle mode. What shuffle mode does, it acts like we're shuffling cards. Okay, so with my grabber tool, I can just click a slice and it'll shuffle it in between all of these slices. So now my loop sounds, and just by moving that one snare hit, already I've got some nice variation happening. Remember, all I'm doing is I'm selecting the last slice of the first bar and the first slice while holding shift. That selects that one bar segment. Loop is engaged, and so on. I like that groove there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hit Control D, and I've now looped it, or just copied it twice. So now here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars of my drum groove. So what I want to do, I want to edit my last 2 bars, so I've got a unique drum groove going on there as well. I actually really like this, that crash. So what I'm going to do, if I hold Alt, click, I can drag out another copy of that crash. Once again, notice how I'm no longer highlighting the last bar. That's because I've created another copy of the crash. Alright. Let's just work with this one. That's pretty cool. Now let's listen to this bar. Notice how that downbeat is a snare, and it doesn't sound right to start off a bar. We want to start off a bar with a kick so we can clearly identify where the bar starts. That's pretty cool. Let's have a listen to my entire break. Yeah, I love it. All right. So, notice my form. 1 bar, copied. So I've got 2 identical bars, and then I've got 2 bars of variation. Okay. Now, if I select the last segment and the first segment, I can Control D this, and I've got an 8-bar breakbeat. Love it. Okay, not too bad, but after hearing that, I think it's a little bit slow. So what I want to do, I want to adjust the tempo, all right? To do that, what I'm going to need to do, I'm going to need to make my track tick-based, and I'm going to want to examine it with a rhythmic algorithm. Once I've done that, I can simply right-click, make sure I can view my MIDI controls, or I've got my MIDI controls down here. If I unselect the conductor, now I can simply click and drag this 120, and notice when I make it higher, it's compressing or stretching my drum groove. For example, I could make it much slower if I wanted to. Notice how it's struggling with that amount of time compression and expansion. So if I boost it up to 160, 180. Awesome. I don't like it at 180. I'm going to drop it back to 160 or thereabouts. Now I'm going to bounce it once again. Great foundation for a new track.